Look, insurance companies don't care about you. Judges don't care about you. Jurors don't even care about you. The only person you have in that courtroom is the attorney you pick. You pick me, you're going to get someone who is going to throw haymakers for you. I understand that when I'm in that courtroom, I'm all you got. I'm not trying to be friends with the defense attorney. I'm not trying to be super cordial with everyone if they're not treating my client well. Okay? You got to act like a professional, and I always do, but you have to be assertive. You have to be aggressive where necessary. You have to fight for your client. You're up against an enormous problem. Insurance companies have bottomless pits of money. They can hire the fanciest experts. They can use all the math in the world to try to diminish the value of your claim. The stuff they do is absurd. Oh, well, geez, the average price of the ambulance ride from point A to point B in your geographic area is actually 25% less than the bill that you submitted. So we're only going to pay 75% of your ambulance bill. I mean, how crazy is that? When you got in the ambulance after that massive car accident, did you negotiate the price? Did you choose which ambulance came to the scene? No, you didn't. And you're going to let an insurance company tell you they're not going to pay the bill even though their insured is responsible for your injuries? We're not letting that happen. That is not going to happen on our watch. This is the type of stuff that insurance companies do to devalue claims. And they know it. They know it. They count beans better than anybody. They only care about the bottom line. They have shareholders to please. They don't care about people. They are the filthiest organizations on the face of the planet. They might be worse than the government if that's possible. Okay, they might be worse than banks if that's possible. Quite honestly, I think they're the worst. Maybe I'm biased because I fight with them all day. I don't know. But they'll say anything. And they'll hire people to say anything. And you have to be prepared for what you're dealing with. From a small rear ender to a life-altering 18-wheeler accident to a fishing boat sinking. It doesn't matter how you're injured or, God forbid, killed. And your family's dealing with it. Insurance companies are going to do one thing consistently every single time. They are going to lie, cheat, and steal their way to devalue your claim. You have to have a bazooka pointed at them. And that's what I try to be for my clients. So look, great version of this story. You know, an insurance company called me recently, one of the major national insurance companies. By the way, try to avoid those if you're buying insurance. I don't sell insurance, but if it's a major national insurance company that you see commercials for all over the country, it's a good bet to stay away from those guys. Anyway, one of them called me on a car accident claim, and they said, we don't think your client's medical bills are the right amount. You know, we think that the medical providers that your client went to overcharged your client for treatment, and we don't think it's appropriate for us to pay full value there because in your geographic area, the average hospital charges less for these services. So we're only going to pay the average. If you don't have an attorney that knows to ask the following questions to that insurance adjuster, okay, what's the average rate? What are you basing that on? Is there a different hospital that charges a different rate? Tell me, which hospital? What's the rate? Did you have some kind of an expert review the billing and say, hey, we're going to have this expert testify at a trial later in this case about the reasonableness of these medical bills? If the answers to those questions aren't at the ready, in hand, ready to give to you, then what the insurance company has done is commit bad faith. In Massachusetts, we have a statute that says you can't do that. You cannot negotiate an insurance claim in bad faith. You cannot, when they are definitely responsible or probably responsible or even clearly responsible, they have a duty, insurance companies, to negotiate in good faith. If they're just making up numbers out of midair without some sort of support for them or something they can use at trial later on down the road to support that assertion that the medical bills were too high, that you didn't negotiate well while you were riding the back of the ambulance or while you were under anesthesia and they were shooting you up with drugs. I mean, come on. These insurance companies will do anything. If you don't have an attorney that knows to expect the tricks that they're going to use and how to counter those tricks because you didn't hire a specialist, then you're in the wrong office. No matter what kind of law you need a lawyer for, get a specialist. If someone advertises that they do 5 other things and personal injury, turn around and walk away. Just like any other area of law. hire a specialist. We're specialists. This is what we do. Okay. I handle personal injury cases. That's what I do every day in, day out, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. In fact, more often, 7 to 7, Monday through Friday. That's what I'm doing. You're safe here. You come to Orlando and Associates, you know you're going to get an attorney that does this every minute of every workday, that eats, sleeps, and breathes personal injury law, that deals with insurance companies of the worst kind, of the biggest kind, of the nastiest kind every single day, and is not deterred by it. Let's dance. You want to treat my client like that? Not here, buddy. If you want more of this content, if you want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly of the personal injury industry, if you want to tip the scales of justice in your favor, come back, subscribe, and check out our videos.